she just lit up and said, everything. I mean, I just love everything, but most of all, I love competing every single week.
UCLA is starting to tap into that depth that has always made them one of the best. Meanwhile, Arizona State getting better each week. They're number 20, but they've had season highs 2 weeks in a row. There's the junior Hannah Scharf, 5 wins, leads the team, ranked 25th in the all-around.
Well, the All-American has led this team with her consistency across all of those events. In fact, in all 5 meets, she's been in the all-around, putting scores 39, 3 or better. 5 scores, 9-9 or better. For ASU, they're coming off a season high, so they have some good momentum. Now it's time to actually put a whole meet together, and that's their goal here today.
Scharf won the all-around in last year's meet against UCLA. ASU actually led that meet in the final rotation, but UCLA rallied on floor to win. Gym Devils and the Bruins live on the Pac-12 network on a warm winter day in Tempe. Search on cactus. It's either a saguaro cactus or a prickly pear. Amanda, you live here. Which one was it? No. Jordan Childs is the second best bars worker in the conference. Of course, Jade Carey is ranked number 1 in the country, but Childs has been ridiculous of late. Last week, had a 10 at Stanford. It's her second perfect 10 this year. Remember, she had one on floor against Utah, so she's halfway to the gym slam. That's a 10 on all 4 events. The last back-to-back 10s for UCLA was Peng Lee at the 2018 NCAA Championships. Amanda, you know it's one of my favorite moments in all of athletics against Oklahoma, the defending champions. Oklahoma number 1. Peng Lee has to be perfect on the beam. She is, but I always leave out of the story that just before that, she had a perfect 10 on bars. Her only 2 events of the day, she had a perfect 20. It's an amazing
I remember it well.
So UCLA is coming off a loss at Stanford, but they closed very strongly. Meantime, Arizona State has put up back-to-back season highs, including last week a 196-6 at Arizona for their 6th consecutive win over the Gym Cats of U of A. And there's Jay Santos, the head coach at Arizona State, who's never lost to Arizona, but has never beaten UCLA. In fact, Arizona State has not beaten UCLA since January 26th of 2001. That's 19 straight. Last year, Pauly went down to the final rotation. Jordan Jaslow will lead us off for ASU.
The big layout full. Last week at Arizona, ASU put up their best vault rotation. I said, what was different? And they said they have strong vaults, but they put the landing gear on, and that's what they need to repeat in today's competition.
UCLA begins as the visiting team on the bars, where they're 4th best in the country. Excuse me, 4th best in the conference, but 17th in the country. Their last 2 have been their best 2. If you've been watching UCLA, they are better now than they were at the beginning of the season. That's the goal. Shea Campbell.
Dynamic release combination to the high bar, back down with that failed handstand.
Campbell, the reigning Pac-12 freshman of the year.
Difficult dismount, wow. Double front. I talk about the blind landing every time I see it. It's challenging because you cannot see the floor until you're pretty much in position. This is the final element in her routine. You definitely don't want to come up short. Well, she came up right on top of the landing. Perfect position. Knees were bent. Her posture was locked in. Great start for UCLA on bars.
And Shea is on fire on the bars. Her last 3 have been 9-8 or better. Coming back to Gracie Reeves. New in the lineup for Arizona State on vault. And holds on to it. Landed on the heels.
Yeah, I asked the coaches, are we going to see any upgrades? Well, a few weeks ago, when I saw Arizona State in person, Gracie was not in this rotation, but they were questioning, is she going to go for the 1.5 twist or the full twist? She went for the more difficult. Landed a little bit on her heels and had to take that step back, but big smile there.
Gracie Reeves, a former all-arounder here at Arizona State. Check the scores as we go back and forth. UCLA has changed a couple of its lineups. They have some injuries, and they're also resting some people, so it's a different UCLA lineup. We'll stay with it as we go. Frida Esparza was expected to go in this spot for UCLA. Ana Padarerio now in the 2 spot. UCLA made so many changes, Amanda. My sheet looks like I'm doing my taxes.
I did mine with pencils.
Yeah, smart move.
And a lot of erasing. aggressive start right there. Most important part about the uneven bars is, oh no.
And I was about to mention that the problem for her on bars has been consistency this year. She went 9.85 at Utah and had a 9.75 last week, but she just can't get back to the high bar here.
Yeah, this release move in particular, not only do you have to have enough height, you have to have the distance so that you can get your dowel grip over the bar to catch. The most challenging part when you make a mistake on the uneven bars is where do you pick up? Because a lot of these elements connect to each other. So Chris Waller walking her through what needs to happen.
And regardless of what happened to Esparza in warm-ups, Potteria was expected to be in this lineup, so not a change for her.
Those two elements were supposed to be connected together, so she did a nice job of coming back with a solid bail handstand, combination giant folded double tuck, and sat that down. Oh no.
There are days like that. You're looking at a 5-time member of the Canadian national team. It's an excellent gymnast, just having a bad moment. So the 9.8 for Jaslow, and a 9.65 for Reeves. To start off, Arizona State, remember that you can drop one score. Emily White is an all-arounder. There you go.
That's a great vault. The Yurchenko layout full, you see most gymnasts perform that vault. So they've got to really go for the details. How high they can get off the table by blocking, starting the flip before they twist right there, that form in the air, body extended, legs glued together, and a perfect landing. She opened those arms up and set in for a perfect balanced position.
3 of her last 4 have been at least 9.8. Her last one was her best one ever. 9.85, but she said 9.85s the last 2 weeks. This should be right in that neighborhood. Chris Waller, UCLA head coach. Now in his 3rd season as the head coach, but his 20th year on the staff. And he's always coached bars, and you can see the crowd is reacting to the score across the way. We'll get it for you as soon as it is official. But for Waller, the bars are personal. And he had to juggle his lineup. He doesn't have all of the options today. And then Potterio has a fall. The score over on vault is a 9.925 for White, which is a career high for her, and the highest we've seen in the meet so far.
Well, and that vault only starts from a 9.95. That's why they got so excited.
Almost perfect, right? Yeah, not a 10-0 start value.
First, UCLA is having to wait on the bar score. Anytime there's major mistakes, they have to really figure out the start values before they can take the deduction, so it always takes a little bit longer. And that 8.375 is going to be the score they want to drop.
Well, here comes Emma. We talked about her at the top of our show, and she has been ridiculous good of late. At Stanford last week, 4 career highs on vault, 4 all around, and yes, on bars as well, a 9.875.
She's beautiful on this event. She has a high level of skill. Nice combination there down to the pack salto. It's a swing, huge double layout. Oh, tried to go for the stick. Chest down just a little bit, but that'll be a slight deduction. You know, it's so impressive when a freshman is in this position and they deliver a great routine, and she's aggressive. She says, hey, my team needs a stick, I'm gonna go for it. Double layout, knew exactly where she was, but those arms were almost too far forward. Of course, pulled her chest just a little bit, but that's still gonna be a great score.
9.925 for White, a career best. And you can see Jay Santos in the back applauding the effort. They've been getting closer and closer to UCLA. Maybe today is the day. Jada Megahaz. And they're rolling on the ball.
Well, I mentioned just a week ago they had their best vault rotation, and this team is really feeding off the momentum. They are starting to gain some confidence. She had great amplitude, lots of distance, which means she's got great dynamics and power. Just a little more control needed on that landing.
She's been at least 9.8 in 4 or 5 this year, and a 9.875 at Oregon State was her best. Good rotation for Arizona State. Ranked 14th in the nation on vault, which, because the Pac-12 is so deep, is only 4th best in the conference, but they've been hitting 49 on a regular basis now, 13 of their last 14. Malabuyo. Got a 9.8. And so now Jordan Childs steps up. Childs, remember, coming off the perfect 10 at Stanford. Her last 4 have all been 9.9 or better. Olympic silver medalist and currently ranked 9th in the country on this event, and now having to wait just a little bit. Well, with everything UCLA has been through this year, we come in and we see that Karina Esparza falls on bars in warm-ups, gets pulled out of the lineup. Any little thing, like a weight like this, can knock you off. Seems like if you're a Bruin fan, nothing is going your way, but I promise you they're getting better.
Oh, no. She did that in the warm-up. She basically just tipped that cast handstand, stays on the bar.
And it's happening again to UCLA. These gymnasts have been asked to deal with a lot this year, and you can see that there are some breaks. Now, you can read whatever you want into it. Sometimes gymnastics is difficult.
Well, she did this exact same mistake in the warm-up. Perfect cast handstand, then just lost it a little bit in her lower back. I mean, big effort to stay with the routine, added in a giant right there, and then just too much power. She's not used to doing that release move from a giant swing. Just gave her a little too much distance.
So there's no way that Waller expected this. Coming in, it was their 2 best bar rotations of the year. And then to have an early fall with Poterio, and now Jordan Childs, 9th in the country with a fall.
Yeah, she seemed a little rattled after that fall.
Yeah.
Now she's finding her rhythm. Big release move right there in between the bars, the ginger. And finishing full twisting double back.
And keep in mind, because she's an Olympian, a lot of the Arizona State fans showing up because they want to see the best. You can see she's a little disappointed with the effort, but she seems to be okay physically. 9.85 for Mangahas, which is just short of her season and career best. And here comes Hannah Sharp. Hannah Sharp, best gymnast on the ASU roster. Holds on to it.
She's the best because she delivers consistency, but she just has this ease to her gymnastics and really helps lead this team. They have some great gymnastics, but we had a chance to talk to the coaches earlier, and they said we got to put a whole meet together, and that's what it's going to take right there. No more holding back. We got to go big, and we got to go for the details like sticking landings.
Sharp is 25th in the country on this event. She's already won. That was last week with a 9.9 in Tucson, but she's got 9.9 in her last 2. They were both on the road. Finally, she spoils the home fans. So if you're an ASU fan, you can't help but be optimistic. UCLA has had all kinds of problems in their bars rotation. Meantime, Arizona State is rolling, but they still have to close. Remember that Reeves only had a 9.625, so they're going to have to count Theodoro in the anchor spot. No score yet on Childs. They're still working the numbers. Nothing posted. First with the fall. They're going to have to count. Well, they're going to have to count Childs because Poterio fell twice and ends up with an 8.375. You want to just forget that number quickly. 9.35. Well, she'll want to forget that one as well, but they're going to have to count it. And they still have Flatley, and then Sarah Topman is filling in for Esparza, so that's the difference. Now they're going to have to count Topman's score. Nora Flatley now, feeling the pressure, but she is one of UCLA's leaders. Flatley, the senior from Iowa, and has 29 straight hits on bars. Right person at the right time when you need it most.
Unique grip right into the release move, way above the bar, beautiful form. She has gorgeous toe point. Transition, back up to the high bar outlets, left is the dismount. Beautiful double layout. Good for her. That is not easy to do when you know you're already counting a mistake.
All of her bar bars routines have been at least 9.8 this year. Had a 9.925 at Utah and a 9.9 last week at Stanford. Should be close to that. 9.8 for Sharp. Good start for her in the all-around. Anchor spot, gotta have this now. Alex Theodoro, freshman from here in Phoenix. All have been 9.8 or better. They need one here.
That unique vault, we're starting to see more often. We've seen the Yurchenko for all these years. The back handspring onto the table. Alex does a half turn onto the table, puts her into the front handspring position. Then does the front tuck half. She's put up a few 9.9s on that vault.
Yeah, she's capable of a big score like that. And that would close out that rotation. And I know for Jay Santos, even though you have a lot of confidence in Alex, you still need that score. Here comes Sarah Topman, the fill-in. So Topman feel all kinds of pressure. This is what happened to Frida Esparza later.
Yeah, in the warm-up, first turn, she just completely slipped off the bar, landed flat on her back. She was okay, but they want to make sure she's safe, making her do all those tests. So they had a variety of lineup changes.
And for Topman, she's been in this spot before against Arizona State. A year ago at Pauley, came off the bench, finished her routine with a perfect double layout. The place went crazy, her teammates ran out. She stood with her fists in the air because it was such a clutch moment for her. She knew she was going to compete that day, but it was her first scored bars routine of the year. Now, she had an exhibition last week at Stanford, but she's not a regular in this lineup. Her exhibition score was a 9.675.
Chalking up the bars, she's staying loose while she's waiting.
And again, a very difficult position. UCLA has had to wait at least 3 times, and I understand the judges trying to get start values, trying to make sure they're squeezing all the points possible. So here comes Topman in a must-have spot for UCLA. The meat is hanging in the balance already. They have to have a clean routine.
Release move? Oh. Jaeger flip. Oh, this has just been such a tough start. And everything is just discombobulated. The water bottle's not in the chalk bowl. Now she's just gonna chalk up.
And there is Frida Esparza. So he took her into the tunnel, checked her, and said, you know, why don't you just sit out today? And you know what's going through her mind? She wants nothing more than to be up on the bars. She knows how much her team needs her right now. And this has just been a disaster for UCLA to start this meet. Chris Waller says, let's finish strong.
Back up to the high bar. Release combination down to the low bar. Nice save there. Finishes with the double layout. Holding on to that landing. That's not an easy thing to do. You weren't expected to be in the lineup. Last minute called in to warm up. And UCLA obviously has had a very tough start. They're gonna have to really rally and regroup here as they head to the next event.
Well, disaster start for UCLA. Meantime, Arizona State just went 49-3 on the vault. That is a season high, a dream start for the Gym Devils.